right, let's jump into it. So I feel like this should be a fun one. Maybe sort of brief. We'll see. First of all, thanks everybody for coming to our town hall today. I forget where we're at. Town hall 3, town hall 4, something like that. But if you missed it, in the last town hall, we had a discussion about what the right format and cadence of our town halls should be. And we kind of landed on sort of as the technology of Tableland progresses, we work on these big sort of 6-week periods called milestones. So we're going to save the majority of, here are the like technical detail updates, here's all the nuance of everything, decisions that have made and changes that are coming to those 6-week, to align to those 6-week milestones. So we'll just report on those. And then these every 2 weeks in between, we thought we would keep the town hall going, but either focus it on a specific topic or kind of keep it quick and brief updates and then turn it over to discussion if people have questions or have topics they want to dig into. So I shared the agenda for today down in the Community Stewards channel, and it's one of the brief ones. However, I think that there's some fun things to talk about. And we'll do kind of a discussion, and then we can turn it over to the AMA as always. So if you have questions today as we go forward, either drop them into that Community Stewards channel, just drop your questions in there and we can bring them up at the end, or at the end we'll have a moment where you can raise your hand. Feel free to raise your hand at any time, but we'll just start calling on people towards the end. So let's see. So just some quick general updates, a little bit of housekeeping, and then we'll jump into the fun stuff. So last Friday we had our third workshop in our workshop series. I think these are going awesome. We're kind of keeping an every 2-week schedule right now. And we've been really focused on the NFT theme, kind of building out different NFT ideas and using Tableland. So yeah, last week Sander gave a great one. It's now up on YouTube if you missed it and want to follow along. We also gave away an NFT to one of the people that joined that workshop, just sort of a random drawing of people that came. So he's now a member of Developer DAO, which is really cool. And then another thing that happened is since our last town halls, we had one of our creative decentralization community spaces on Twitter, and we had Jiho from Axie Infinity come and talk about community building in the play to earn space, and that was really fun. And using that, I wanted to segue into just sharing with you that this Friday we're going to have another one of those, and we'll be talking to folks from Toucan and talking about sustainability in Web3 and how we're all kind of thinking about it and how they've been kind of leading the charge on thinking about carbon use in Web3. And this has been a really important internal topic for us with the NFT that we just announced the other day, as well as the Tableland sort of network protocol, and thinking out ahead and making sure that we're not adding to bad things in the world. And so we've been talking to Toucan a lot to figure that out. So I'm excited to kind of open up that discussion and invite you all into it. So you can find that in our events calendar. Last thing for the general updates, I wanted to welcome Dan, who's here in the here in the town hall DTB, our newest team member. He's joining us to kind of bridge the gap between community and technology, wearing sort of a DevRel hat, but really just taking on a lot of different things here. And we've been working with him for a while. He was working with the Ethereum Foundation on a project for a few months, and we were just kind of collaborating on a few small side projects because he was chomping at the bit to just do more things. So that was really fun, and we just finalized that the other day, and he joined us yesterday, and pretty excited to see where that goes. So welcome, Dan. So that's it for the general updates. Now I really wanted to just jump right into the news we started leaking yesterday, which is we are releasing a Tableland NFT, and we're super excited about this. I wanted to kick over that kind of intro and discussion about what this Tableland NFT is, what it means, and if there's any extra little leaks we can share with you that join us today to Sander. And so, yeah, Sander, take it away, and then we can just kind of chat about it.
Sounds great. I wanted to say, as you mentioned the workshops earlier, just if anyone has any feedback on those at all, you know, even if it's say unless or whatever, just please let us know. But yeah, onto the fun stuff, the rigs. So this is, as mentioned in the Twitter thread, the idea with rigs is that they're going to be sort of your ticket to join the community, and some other utility around grants and prizes and events. And they really represent just a way for us to start thinking of our community as sort of co-building Tableland, in a way to kind of track contributions and involvement that way. The project started about, like in January, I think. And originally we had just been thinking, well, hey, let's just make a NFT to sort of demo parts of Tableland. And as we started getting more and more into it, we realized that not only can we do that, but it's also a great way and a great thing to have sort of in the network, going forward, not just a demo, but something that's deeper. And this concept around tracking collaboration and all that stuff. So let's see. Yeah, the rigs, just the amount of work that went into these is kind of mind-boggling. We worked with an awesome team of artists and a screenwriter from Oddfellows.tv. They're a motion design firm, and one of the founders has been a friend for a long time. Just a great group of people. And they just went super deep into it as well and kind of fell in love with the aesthetic of Tableland and just the whole concept of these vehicles being a way for you to navigate through this sort of unwieldy, kind of danger-infused landscape of Tableland, kind of the playing off the Wild West theme a little bit. Just became a really fun exploration. And there's a lot of lore built into this that will slowly leak out as well. But yeah, the aesthetic is sort of like this, kind of retro future thing that we sort of fell in love with when we first started landing on SQL as the interface to Tableland, because it's been around forever, and it has this potential to sort of like marry sci-fi with retro, which is like the retro future thing. And let's see, what else to talk about this?
What if we, well, actually, I mean, sticking on the art, I don't know, I know that you have some kind of leaks around the art scheduled coming up, but what can you say already to folks about, what do we know already about the artwork? I guess that grid panel told us a lot. What is the art?
Yeah, so, that's a good thing to talk about. So there's this concept that we have called match rigs, and just to step back even further. So it's a generative project. So when you look at a rig, it's composed of 5 to 7 different components, and for a rig to be a rig, it has to have components from the same fleet. So all rigs are broken into 8 different fleets, and the way that the fleets are broken out is sort of by like elevation of Tableland. So the different elevation stratas are the deep canyon lands, the salt flats, the rocky hills, and then the alpine up in the air, basically. So there are 2 fleets per elevation, and this is sounding complicated, but it's really not when you see it all laid out. And for rigs, yeah, so parts have to all be from the same fleet. But the cool thing is that there are 187 of these sort of one-of-one matches. And all the previews we've shared so far are of some of the match rigs. But what we haven't shown at all is just what most rigs will be, which is just a generative from the different parts. And of course, all those parts will be driven by a big parts table hosted on Tableland.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then what have we shared already about the utility of that token? I know you were talking about them being sort of the keys to the community. What else is fair to say at this point?
Well, I mean, what we really want to do is use rigs to track sort of contribution, but just to make that more like brass tacks. The idea is that we should be able to look at the network and figure out sort of what rigs are driving the most queries to the network, and we can use that to drive some fun gaming and fun rewards that way. And we've chatted about sort of visualizing that in terms of like rig races, but that's a bit abstract at the moment. And then for the validator
races, though, abstract as it is, there's definitely races.
And then on the validator side as well, so using rigs to track validator rewards in some way is something that we're excited about. And then another just like brass tacks thing with the utility is we really are going for this sort of high touch experience with Tableland, quality over quantity. So in order to get into all the rich channels in our Discord, you'll need a rig. But these are kind of, I think just something worth chatting about a bit is like, from the start, we wanted to make an NFT that's for developers, and not many of those exist. Most NFTs are targeted directly towards collectors and that kind of thing. But we also want it to be super cool. So yeah, we're kind of walking this line between an NFT that might be a collectible, but it's really specifically for developers and for builders. So I don't suspect they will be that hard to get, is the reason I mentioned that. And I think I was chatting with someone yesterday about this, and we were just chatting through, it's like the rig audience, if, for developers and builders, for that to be a massive audience, like it might not be for a couple of years kind of thing. But that's totally fine. Like the goal of the NFT is to aid in the building of Tableland, like full stop. That's what it's for. So, yeah. And I think we haven't really shared what the fleet names are or anything like that. But without sharing that, do you already have a favorite of the fleets?
Yeah.
I like the motorcycle looking ones. Those are called edge racers. And I also like the salt flat ones. I think are my favorite, like the race cars and the motorcycles, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
I think the one-wheeled ones are pretty rad. Yeah. Yeah. There's a few of them actually I really like.
Yeah.
Cool. And then I know we haven't really shared much about timing, so that's all good. We're gonna leave all of you probably waiting on that. Yeah. What else do we want to say today? I guess one thing we can just also mention is that, we have a pretty fun little roadmap for these. So they're going to come out, and then we have more things that we plan to land with them that just kind of flex the Tableland features as we go in some neat ways that should make these pretty fun and interactive. And we'll learn a lot, and we'll kind of share what we learned along the way. And yeah, they're just a really great forcing function for us to build something pretty functional and rigorous with all of you. So it's really cool.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, just the idea of driving metadata from multiple tables.
Hey, why not? Yeah, why not? That guy never wrote me back from our Discord the other day. So I'll just ask you, is this a Ponzi scheme? What's your response to the NFTs are a Ponzi scheme? Like, we need to talk that through, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, like the sort of blanket Web3 answer, which should be taken with a grain of salt, I think, is like all assets are Ponzi schemes. If you really look at it, like anything that has belief baked into it is essentially a Ponzi scheme. But I think that's a little cheeky, and the question deserves more like upfront conversation than that. I think there certainly are Ponzi schemes or Ponzi games, as they should be called in crypto. But so is a casino in a way. It's like it should be obvious and upfront and like part of the experience if that's what you're looking for. I think it just comes down to like transparency of the project and
transparency is a good one. It just really, like, I was thinking of when, so for context for people in the town hall, somebody just wrote in our Discord after we announced that they were really excited about the project until we announced an NFT, which I thought was strange because the subheader on our website says NFTs, but then B, that they said it was because it was just another Ponzi scheme, and that like, whatever that line of logic is, it just really never lands with me. And it's because I'm so deep down the rabbit hole, and I see so many interesting projects actually being built on NFTs and that are way beyond the flipping and the investing. And I think the flipping and the investing is a really interesting property of NFTs, obviously, and it's led to a lot of their success, but I don't think that is the primary feature or most interesting thing in NFTs. And we actually talked about this in the last town hall, that idea of that really interesting equilibrium in a lot of NFT-based projects where it's actually the flipping that funds the growth and the improvement of the community. It's like there needs to be some underlying momentum in the sale of those NFTs, because that sale is where the percentage earnings go back to the creators that then turn some of those earnings back into making the community better. And we've seen that happen with the best NFTs. That's just like the communities just keep growing. The products keep rolling out of those communities. There's more reason to want to be part of them. And that's super interesting. And like, yeah, I just don't buy this, that the final thing that is useful about an NFT is the ability to buy it and then flip it. So yeah, we're really focused on the sort of, what do you use this NFT for, and like, why is it interesting in Tableland? And like Sander was saying, it becomes, I really like the way you said it, Sander, but I already forgot how you said it, but just like this idea that it's not just your ticket to be part of this community, it's actually like how you'll help us build Tableland. It's like, it's our collaboration point in a way, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's I guess it should be clear that this isn't a funding moment for us. So like the Ponzi thing doesn't make sense even just to that point. But yeah, it's an interesting, like, could be a many hours conversation about, does it matter? Like in Web3, these things it's such a, as you said, forcing function to generate community that could be self-sustaining and build value for years to come. So like that initial moment of the kind of, whether it's a flipping or token buying, you know, it's just a new thing. I think it feels icky to a lot of people up front, but once you start to have a real eye into the real communities, it becomes, I think, a different thing. But you have to be on the lookout for the garbage. I mean, this is the Wild West, as they say, you know, there's scams and crap everywhere. And I think that's like a sign of actually a place where innovation is happening. Like, you don't want to be somewhere where there's literally no scams. That means that it's regulated fully and all the little things have been figured out. And I don't know. I think it's just, you want to be in a little bit of a wild place if you like innovation.
Yeah, that's interesting. But to be totally clear, we are like, this is not really intended for us to be a financial instrument. We don't want it to be, you know, we don't want people to see it as a Ponzi scheme. It's obviously not what we're building. We're building something really functional for the community. And I guess that leads to a question which we didn't touch on, which is how we're thinking about the cost of these things. And, you know, I think maybe Sandra was saying, I guess, that this isn't really, we're not seeing this as a funding opportunity for Tableland, but we do want to make this, we do want to get these NFTs into the hands of creators. So our focus is, how do we get all of you, the existing builders, to have an NFT so you keep building with us? And then how do we get it into the hands of other genuinely interested and creative people, and not really get it, and try to avoid getting it in the hands of people that are, you know, just trying to speculate on something that we don't really know what they're speculating on, or what the, like, we really want this to be for our community. So we're gonna, it's not gonna be free for everybody, and we're gonna have to figure that out or we'll solidify what that is over the coming weeks. But yeah, kind of setting that bar high enough that people don't just grab it and not use it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we want to do right by the amount of effort that was put into these things, and make them attractive to collectors. But yeah, the real point is for developers.
So with that, any questions out there? I don't see any in the Discord chat.
I should also say, like, I think it's tomorrow or the next day, we're going to drop a blog post and just the landing page for rigs that goes over some of the details and has more previews and all that stuff.
Any hands out there? Core team, collaborators, community? All clear, all fine?
Cool.
Cool. I think with that, then we could call it here, nice and quick.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Thanks, Sander. Thanks, everybody, for popping in.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.